Calling this school committee meeting to order, Monday, June 6, 2022 at 6 p.m. Dr. Knight, if you would lead us in a salute to the flag, please.
Certainly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We're going to go out of order tonight and move to, where is it, Bob? Oh, there it is. Project 351 Ambassador, Dorothy Chelsea Barner. Come on up. Yeah.
Come up to the table.
Good evening. I'm Mary Kringen, and I represent Project 351 tonight for the Executive Director. I'm a retired educator and have been involved in Project 351 for the past 12 years. And I thank you for giving us a few minutes this evening, so I can introduce Chelsea to you, who is your newest Project 351 ambassador representing the city of Fitchburg. Project 351 is a youth-led movement for positive change that unites an 8th grade ambassador from each of the Massachusetts 351 cities and towns for a transformative year of leadership development, enrichment, and impact. Through unique service opportunities, ambassadors like Chelsea will gain valuable skills, create positive change in communities, build a statewide network of peers, and unite the Commonwealth in common purpose. The Ambassador's Year is a gateway to a lifetime of purpose and passion through service. At year's end, ambassadors are invited to continue their leadership development and community impact as members of the alumni organization or by application to the Alumni Leadership Council. We are an independent 501c3 registered nonprofit and the only model of our kind in the nation. Project 351 does not receive state or federal funds and relies on financial investments of individuals, organizations, and corporate leaders to sustain our mission and movement. Chelsea was selected by Ms. May for an exemplary ethic of service and the values of kindness, compassion, humility, and gratitude. Ambassadors thrive when they have a passion for making a difference and are eager for opportunities to learn and grow. With the COVID hitting us greatly, we did not gather together on Martin Luther King Day weekend for launch day. We did it virtually. But Chelsea has participated in community service projects on Earth Day, and she will be traveling to Gillette Stadium next Saturday to meet the other 350 ambassadors from across the Commonwealth with a day of service and uniting for their next community service project, which will be collecting personal care items for the Mass Military Heroes Fund, which will ship those supplies to active military personnel serving overseas and to our homeless veterans. So at this time, I would like Chelsea to say a few words to you.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Barnor. I just wanted to say that when I first got nominated for this Project 351, I was really honored, and I was just really happy that I got to be part of a program where there was a community of other 8th graders who all share similar morals and ideals, and just kind of all came together and were chosen to be a community of people who contributed and helped our society with community service and helped in ways that they could. And I just appreciate the fact that I got to be chosen as one of those people to help out. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice.
Good evening, everyone. I'm State Representative Michael Krishmerek, and I just wanted to take this moment. This is, I think, remarkable what you just said. 8th grade, There's so many things she could be doing at this age, from extracurriculars and sports, social media, video games, and instead she's choosing to commit her time and her talents to community service and leadership. How often do we take a moment and we recognize, seniors in our community and those who preceded us in generations for their civic leadership? We just did that last week with Jerry Martell and naming Jerry Martell Square at the corner of North and Main Street for a lifetime of service and contributions to their community. And when we see community service in our community, all too often we see our residents age 55 and over and high school students and an entire generation or two missing in between. And I think it's just so inspiring to see a young person like Chelsea really dedicating her time and talents to community service, to diversity and inclusion and equity throughout the Commonwealth and right here in her own backyard. So I think it's so important that we take a moment and just celebrate those individuals. There's 351 communities in Massachusetts, and there's 351 students. And so that's incredible that you were selected as that one student to represent the entire city of Fitchburg. So you're doing us proud, and the entire Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the House of Representatives, wanted to recognize you. Be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Dorothy Chelsea Barner in recognition of your hard work and dedication within Project 351 to represent Fitchburg as the Class of 2022 Ambassador. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Given the 6th day of June, 2022, issued at the State House in Boston, Massachusetts, signed by Ronald Mariano, Speaker of the House, and offered by myself, Michael Kushmerek, State Representative. Congratulations, Chelsea.
Wait a minute. Chelsea, come on up here. Mary, come up.
You got another
Come
one.
on up. Come on. Such poise and maturity. I thought you were a senior. Yeah. Superintendent, I said, she's a senior? She said, no, 8th grade long show. Wow. That's pretty impressive. It is. This is a citation. This is thanks from the city. All the things that the state rep said on his citation, somehow we copy it all together. It's sincerest congratulations. You heard that. That really meaning that we do as a community congratulate you, and we hope that you'll. And we're sure you're going to go forward and really make us proud, and yourself as well. Congratulations. All right. We did one before. Yeah. Thank you. All right. We now will be moving into executive session for the purpose of contract discussions. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? We need a roll call. That's right. Oh,
Yes,
yes.
all
Can you
right,
call the roll, please?
thank you. Mayor Di Natale,
Yes.
Mr. Stevens,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh,
Yes.
Mr. Horgan,
Mr. Horgan.
Excuse me. Yes.
thank you. Mrs. Reynolds,
Yes.
Dr. Knight,
I'm so sorry. I did not receive the package. I don't know what happened. Can I just skip voting? Is that?
We were just
To
voting to go into
executive
executive session
Voting to go into
to discuss
Yes.
contract issue, right? Yes.
thank,
She's a yes. Thank you.
yes, I've registered as yes. Mr. Hughes,
Yes.
thank you very much. We are unanimous.
We complete? Okay. We are now in executive session. We're going to ask the audience to please step out. Hopefully, we'll be just a short time. Thank you. We are back in session. Welcome back, everyone. Committee, Mr. Horgan.
No report at this time.
Student support, did I just say that? I just said that. Yeah, oh no, I didn't say that. Student support, Dr. Maritza Knight.
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Personnel Subcommittee, I have nothing to report as well. Now we go to the student representatives. Ladies and gentlemen, please.
On May 26, hundreds of FHS students were involved in a staged walkout that occurred at noon to voice their anger, frustration, and sorrow regarding the school massacre incident in Uvalde, Texas, and to express their concerns about gun violence. Also, all students in grades 9 through 11 will have final exams or assessments during the last week of school, which is from June 13th to June 17th. That is all I have to say. Thank you.
So as a school committee rep, I've been approached over the past, I was actually approached earlier today. So one of my teachers, actually my math club director, the director of the math club, which I've participated in since my freshman year, and I've met a bunch of cool people and it's been a great experience. So the guy who's running that and our current math coach is Daniel Walker, and he is being involuntarily transferred to Memorial. So I speak on behalf of the student body of Fitchburg High School, and we want him to stay here at Fitchburg High School, in our opinion. Also, there has been some discussion at the middle school level about students rising from their 7th grade year to their 8th grade year and getting transferred in that time period. So students that, or even from students going from their 4th grade year into their 5th grade year, and all their friends are at one school, all of their connections are at one school, and then they get switched to another school in that time period. Could there be some kind of potential exemption for those students who are in that situation, getting switched to a different school their last year, especially when there's been a bunch of crazy things going on in these past few years. It's been COVID, it's been everything. It's been difficult to make connections anyways. We don't want to really destroy those few connections that have been made, and by switching students from school to school. That's one concern that has been observed. However, there is good reason to believe that might not be worth it. But another thing that I've observed, and all the students at Fitchburg High School have observed, is there's been the installation of new water bottle filling stations at, I believe, 3 locations in Fitchburg High School. I know off the top of my head of 2, in the math wing and in the athletics wing. And these water bottle filling stations were the subject of our advocacy a few weeks ago. But now they're installed, and they're not quite in operation yet, but they will be in operation probably within the next few days, hopefully. And that's really helping out the student body of Fitchburg High School. And that's all I have to say.
Any questions from the committee members? Seeing none, thank you. Moving on. Approval of the minutes from the previous school committee meeting of May 16th, 2022.
Make a motion, we approve the May 16th.
Motion made.
Second.
And seconded to approve the minutes of May 16th, 2022. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you. Communications. Anyone wishing to speak on this matter? Seeing none. Anyone wishing to make public comment? Maybe in the audience.
Hello, I'm Shelley Romero, and I've been a public educator for 30 years. Of those 30, I have been at Fitchburg High School for 17, and I represent the science department.
My name is Kate Delakiai, and I've been a math teacher at Fitchburg High School for the past 14 years. In this past year, I just became the math facilitator. I'm also a lifelong resident of Fitchburg. I'm very proud to say that I work in the Fitchburg Public Schools. I became a teacher at FHS right out of college, and I have never wanted to work anywhere else. The family that we have at Fitchburg High School makes this school and city so special. These colleagues are the people that my children refer to as their aunts and uncles. They are the people who get you through a pandemic. They are the people that hold your hand through the best of times and the worst of times. This is the reason I stand before you here tonight. Our STEM coach was involuntarily moved from his position on Friday, and to say that it has devastated our departments is an understatement. The math and science family has flourished under his guidance, and I see how his initiatives have reached our students and allowed them to accomplish more than they ever thought possible. He is never one to shy away from finding a solution to a problem and has a tireless work ethic. He has instituted a geometry curriculum that was used throughout the entire department to help organize students, prepare their algebra skills, and teach them geometry while also preparing them for MCAS. He created a math lab so all students could be successful. He instituted math peer tutors to help students one-on-one during the school day. He brought back the math club. He helped expand curriculum offerings for all of our students into pre-AP statistics, and is also a liaison with Fitchburg State University and brought student teachers to FHS. Because of him, we are consistently looked upon in our building as a model department. His love of the Fitchburg school community is evident through his passionate involvement in school-based extracurriculars and the positive relationships he has created with our student body. He has been a teacher, athletic coach, Step Up to Excellence mentor, math coach, and this past year they expanded his role to STEM coach. He jumped right in to help the science department and led many efforts, especially reorganizing numerous student schedules to ensure MCAS retesters were placed in Bio 2 and to make certain students were being prepared adequately. He took on district benchmark testing and analysis of data for the science department, as well as supported them through the transition of a new curriculum, Open SciEd. Fitchburg High School is a great place to work and learn, in part due to many of the systems and structures our STEM coach has helped to create. It is upsetting that much of his hard work and innovation has gone unnoticed.
Excuse me, are you all speaking?
No,
No, thank you.
no worries. My name is Katie Schmidt. I'm a lifelong resident of Fitchburg. I have taught mathematics at Fitchburg High School for 24 years. I am the senior-most member of my department, and I have literally dedicated more than half of my life to the students of Fitchburg. I'm here tonight with my brothers and sisters from the math and science departments. We stand before you to support our STEM coach. He was told last week that he is being involuntarily transferred to one of our middle schools to teach 8th grade math. Before I speak specifically about this situation, there are some things that we need you to know. The teachers and staff at Fitchburg High School are truly a family. What happens to one of us is felt by all of us. Teaching is not a job. When asked to describe myself, I always start with, I'm a teacher. Teaching is a way of life. It is who we are. We get out of bed every day, pick up a coffee, and drive to school for one reason and one reason only, our students. We don't do it for the MCAS scores or the 17 other days of testing that take our students out of our classrooms. We don't do it for the countless hours of meetings or yet another new initiative that we are forced to adopt. We do it for the aha moments of our students' faces and the quiet thank yous for the granola bars that we keep in our broken desk drawers. We do it for the laughs and high fives when we're wearing some sort of ridiculous outfit during Spirit Week. And we do it for the relieved faces when we find out that the lockdown was only a drill. Teaching is hard and it is messy, and there isn't a single teacher standing here who would rather do anything else, and we all choose to do it here in Fitchburg. When we found out that our STEM coach was being moved, it was heartbreaking. Our hearts broke for him, his wife and kids, and for us. I don't even want to think what's going to happen when our students actually find out. And if the news wasn't bad enough, the way in which the situation was handled was downright disgusting. Between the rumors, speculation, and half-truths, there was a realization by administration that they could no longer wait until the last day of school to tell him like they had planned, because the news had already been shared out by another building's principal. What started as heartbreak has quickly turned to anger. In case anyone hasn't noticed, there is a nationwide teacher shortage. We currently have 3 open positions in the mathematics department for next year. The first time those jobs were posted, 3 people applied, and if I remember correctly, 2 of them did not have degrees or teaching licenses, and the third one didn't bother to show up for the interview. If the district wanted to move in a different direction with the STEM coach, they could have simply moved him back into the math department into one of those 3 positions, kept him with his Fitchburg High family. The fact that they chose to move him to another school into a grade level that he has never taught before feels kind of retaliatory, and it was clearly not done with the student's best interest in mind. It is not lost on any of us that most of our high school teaching licenses are actually for grades 8 through 12. Should we now all be worried that we too could be arbitrarily and vindictively transferred to another school with no warning or reason, or without the decency of an open and honest conversation? This entire situation feels like it was done with a single purpose: to force a man who has dedicated 17 years of his life to Fitchburg High School to quit. With every decision comes unintended consequences. I will leave you tonight with these potential unintended consequences of the district's decision. His wife, a teacher of color at Fitchburg High School, will likely leave the district. That will be a second devastating blow to the students and staff of Fitchburg High. His children, very bright, funny, and sweet boys, will likely school choice out of the district. His FHS family will spend the rest of their careers looking over their shoulders, second-guessing every word that they say. That is, of course, if they choose to stay and continue to teach in Fitchburg. And most importantly, his students will be left without his love and needed support, and for that, the district should be ashamed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've already had the Project 351 ambassador for Dorothy Chelsea Varner here. We have Jen Fisher here to present on the 21st Century, the summer program. We had originally planned to have an update before to the Student Support Subcommittee, but we couldn't get that scheduled, so we wanted to get the word out to the public. So I asked Mrs. Fisher to be here tonight, so welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm very pleased with the way our summer program is coming along. We've been planning and working on pulling all the pieces together, and now it's getting close. So we have our Journeys program, which is going to be for our students going into first and second grade. That's going to be a half-day program starting on July 11th, and that will run through July 28th. That goes 8 to 12. Then for our students that are going into third all the way up to ninth grade, going into ninth grade, we have our regular Fitchburg Public Schools summer program. There's a lot of different things that we'll be doing. We'll be focusing on academics and that, trying to reduce that summer slide over our program. That starts July 5th and ends July 28th. That will go 8 to 2, so it's a Monday through Thursday kind of program. We're working on scheduling field trips and doing all the appropriate paperwork for that. We'll be taking the elementary school students to Camp Low to go swimming at least once a week, and using that facility and going out to the fields and playing out there and doing some team building activities. Last summer, we took our middle school students to Mirror Lake. That was a really great place for our kids to spend time in the water. We did some community building activities, and volleyball was a big hit that last summer, so the kids really spent a lot of time doing that. One program that I'm really, really proud of is last summer we started with 6 peer leaders that came in to work with us during the summer. The program has now grown to 27 students that we'll be working with. They'll be going through a 3-day, 6-hour orientation, 6 hours per day orientation to get them up to speed on everything from 51As. Mrs. Lassard, one of our school nurses, is going to come in and help me do some first aid and understanding how to care for children in that camp kind of after summer program environment. We'll also be teaching them about what to look for with students, because sometimes the students will talk to the high school students easier than some of the adults. So sometimes things get disclosed that we want to make sure the high school students are prepared for. So I'm really happy about that. We did receive a grant from the Department of Ed for this, which I think you guys were aware of. So we did end up getting that, which I was really happy about. Kathy Heitnen from Fitchburg High School has been working very diligently on our high school program. We have over 71 students that we're utilizing Mass Hire money to participate in some programs that she has going on. Out of those 71 kids, 6 of those students will be working in my program as peer leaders. The other opportunities that they'll have at the high school for the high school students will be drop-in programs from, it's called adulting, where they'll learn a lot of basic, sewing, cooking, that kind of stuff. There'll be different activities going on. There'll be weightlifting. We're going to have a 3-on-3 league on Fridays or in the afternoons. We're still working out the details of all of that. So there's a lot going on for the students. Right now, we have about close to 500 students registered and enrolled. We're getting that all pulled together and working on the bus routes. So we're almost to the full point with the amount of staff that we have. A lot of the Fitchburg Public School teachers have applied to work, and they will be working with us this summer. So we're really happy to have them back, and a lot of our paraprofessionals as well, supporting and having our high school students support them through our peer leaders. Another great thing I'm really happy about is we've contacted a lot of community agencies to come work with our students. So one group is called JUMP. Their JUMP stands for Just Understand My Potential. They'll be taking third and fourth graders up to the Conservation Center behind Burbank, and they'll be doing ecosystem exploration, how to be outside, a lot of just understanding what's going on in the woods out there and looking for different signs of, how things are going in the woods and just learning how to be in the woods, which I really fully support. Our ESL fourth graders will be going out to the Starbase on Hanscom Air Force Base for a week. It's a specialized ESL program that they'll be getting this incredible STEM program that's funded by the Department of Defense. And it's as a former science teacher, it's an incredible classroom environment. The room is probably about twice the size of this, and they have all sorts of activities that they walk the students through. I watched a group of fifth graders understand quadrant graphing within 10 minutes of them doing their activities. It's impressive what they do there with the students. We're partnering with Sodexo. They'll be doing a Tasty Tuesday where the kids will get to try different foods, and we're really focusing on providing the kids with different opportunities to try new things. And hopefully some of those items will be added to the school menus in the fall. Our friends from Mount Wachusett, we'll be doing stuff with Lauren Mountain and Michelle Brennan around change making for our middle school students. There's going to be up to 40 students that can participate in this one group, and it will be an all-day program. It's called Kids Helping Kids, and they'll be looking at developing the change maker mindset to help make a difference in their schools and communities. So I'm really excited for that. That will take place during the whole program. We have UMass Extension coming out to do nutrition lessons with our elementary students during the enrichment block, which is 12:30 to 1:30. And then this is another really cool program that's coming out. Luck is partnering with us. We're doing some peer mediation services. So they'll come and hang out in the cafeteria with us to get to know the kids from 10:30 to 12:30. They'll kind of get a sense of what's going on during the program times. And then from 12:30 to 1:30, they'll have peer mediation services that can be requested through, they have a form that they'll fill out, so the students can request a peer mediation, or the teachers can request a mediation if there's kids having some problems. This will help address student conflicts that arise and prevent harmful conflict escalation. And what I really love about this particular program is that there's a Lux staff member with these peer mediators that can work with families to help get counseling services in place if need be. So they're going to walk them through that. And we have one more group with Mass Audubon. They're going to be coming in and doing elementary lessons with our third and fourth graders and fifth graders. And we'll have one group that can go up to Wachusett Mountain to Wachusett Meadow to do some more programming up there. So I'm really thrilled at the growth of the community partnerships that are coming in and working with our students during this kind of abbreviated summer program, but it's filling up quick. So I wish I could get everybody in the program that wants to participate, but it's all hinging on staffing at this point. So parents have been really great. Actually, parents were texting me while I was sitting here trying to figure out how to get enrolled, but we're getting there. So thank you to Donna Hildreth for all her hard work setting up the bus routes. That's a huge job with this many kids. It's like opening a regular school. So we're really excited. So that's summer in a nutshell.
Questions?
Is there, what is the cap in terms of
I'm
the number
thinking
that you can handle?
550 is where I feel most comfortable. I just want to break down the numbers. Our Journeys program, we have enough staff to take up to 60 to 75 students. I think we're getting to that point. I think we're at 68 right now. Right now, last I looked, and I still have a stack to go through, we had almost 112 third graders registered. So that tells you kind of how big we're getting. So, and I appreciate Mr. Shalafo for helping us with, getting the word out for the staff, and the pay for the summer is really, it's a nice sum for the teachers and for our parents, so it's huge. I'm really excited. You guys should come by. We're there Monday through Thursday. Come see what we're doing.
And
We'd love
this
to
all
see you,
takes
Mr.
place-
Stevens.
Is this all at Memorial?
It's at Fitchburg High School. Sorry, I didn't say that. Yes.
Yeah.
Because of everything that's going on, we're all going to be at Fitchburg High, which I'm really excited about. Between the high school programs, and we'll go up and take a look at classrooms and assign rooms so that everybody's separated in their kind of own little areas. And I want to say thank you to the high school teachers for, freeing up the space for us to get in there with the kids, because I promise we'll leave the rooms the way we find them, okay? But we're really excited, and I'm just looking forward to having it. We had a great summer last year, and I think it's just going to be even better this summer.
Beautiful. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm very excited too. I remember talking to a few parents about this in the last few weeks, and they're also excited. But naturally, I think had some concerns too about all grade levels being in one building. Do you have any concerns about that, or has that been something you've already addressed?
I think separating the kids by floors and really keeping the high school students kind of in their own area as well. The elementary students will be having lunch. They actually have earlier lunch, so they'll have lunch from like 10:30 to 11, and then they'll have recess. So they really won't really be passing. I know when Craig and I would do the long show, the parents had the same concerns, like the high school kids or the 8th graders are going to be around my 5th grader. So the teachers are really on top of that, and they'll make sure that, and I'll be up there, and we have coordinators that will be, like I have Marcus Kitchen doing the elementary, Carrie Boyden and Sue DiGeronimo doing the middle school, Kelly Morrison's doing the Journeys program. So they'll make sure to be in those areas and be really visible in the hallways and make sure that they don't blend too much.
Has that been something that parents have been asked to clarify? Have they been?
I haven't had too many questions about it, really, to be
Anecdotal,
honest. And the parents have been really great about communicating. They send emails, they've been texting us, so it's been really, the parents have been great, actually.
Mr. Hughes?
Ms. Fisher, what about building security? Do you have any hall monitors?
Yes.
Or security personnel that
Yeah.
we have? Okay.
The high school security person, Miss Cordero, Anahai Cordero, I'm probably saying her name incorrectly, but she's going to be helping us with that.
Okay.
If I need to get some more people to do that, I have to go up to the high school and get the lay of the land. I'm kind of familiar with the high school, but I need to go up and really take a look to see where potential issues could be.
Right, because I got some concern about the different, exits and things like that around the building, and the building being so large. I know it's a problem, to kind of keep it during the year, but especially during the summer. You know what I mean? A lot of opportunities there, so that's all.
So one of the things that we were thinking about was having the buses drop off at the door that's on the softball side of the building, and the other doors will be locked. The high school kids will probably come through that other main door by the auditorium, but the summer program kids will come in through that door, and then we'll have like the first and the elementary kids go up one set of stairs, the middle school go up the other set of stairs. We'll have plenty of staff to make sure that the kids are well supervised, and the doors will be secure. We'll make sure that everything's safe. That's a top priority for me.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Mrs. Fisher, can you just remind parents, anybody watching, what the hours are of the summer programs this year?
The hours for the elementary and middle school folks is from 8 to 2, and that starts July 5th and it ends July 28th. The Journeys program is for the students going into 1st and 2nd grade. That's July 11th through July 28th. That's Monday through Thursday, 8 to 12. I think that's everything.
Can I just ask you to stay just to talk about the 2 field trips on tonight's agenda?
Oh, yeah, sorry, yes.
It's
yes.
okay.
So, do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
All right.
Yep.
So last year, we went to Canopy Lake Park with the middle school kids, and the elementary kids came, and it was just a fun day for the students. They went around with it was like a 1 to 12, 1 student to 12, maybe 10 to 12 students per staff member. And they get to kind of navigate and decide, okay, what rides they were going to get in, because they only had a certain amount of time, because the buses they had time to eat, go do some rides, and then they had to get on the bus. So we realized that we didn't set enough time aside for that. So this year, we set more time aside so the kids could spend almost a full day there. So we'll leave school around 8:30, get there for 9:30, and probably leave around 3:30. So they'll have a good chunky day there to go and get on the rides, and we'll be doing some science lessons around kind of the physics of amusement park rides, and especially roller coasters. Roller coaster science was one of my favorite lessons to teach, so we'll bring that back to the table for the kids. So they'll be doing that trip, and then the Journeys program, they're doing a whole week on the ocean. So we had, Mrs. Morrison and I had talked about bringing the kids to Salisbury State Park. We like the state park because it's got the changing rooms, it's got bathrooms right there. It's a pretty secure area. We can, I've done this with my other groups before, where you set up a tent and kind of rope off the area. I'm hoping central office staff will come and be chaperones, so we have even bigger ratios of student to staff. So there'll be like 3 kids to 1 staff member to really make sure that everyone's safe. I'm looking to see about, lifeguard and how we can handle that and get that all involved with the state park. But I know there's lifeguards there, but I'd like to have someone there as well. So that's one of the field trips, and they're going to be going to Friendly Farm up in New Hampshire. They're doing another week-long study on the farm. So they're going to be going up there and checking out Friendly Farm. Davis Farm, unfortunately, isn't taking school groups or camp groups anymore. So we had to start looking at other options. So we found Friendly Farm, which I forgot. It's been around for a long time, but it's a great place to take young students to go check out a small farm area and all the different animals. It's a cute place, so I think that would be a good option for our little guys, our Journeys kids. So just looking for your blessings to go.
So the 2 action items on tonight's agenda are the Friendly Farms in Dublin, New Hampshire, and Canopy Lake Park in Salem, New Hampshire. So those are to be voted on at the end of the meeting. So thank you, Mr. Fisher.
Okay.
That's
Have fun.
it.
Thanks.
Really?
Hopefully you stop by this summer. We'd love to see you.
Okay.
Okay.
Be careful, we might put you to work.
Okay, also tonight on the agenda is just a revised school calendar.
Mr. Chairman, forgive me for interrupting, please, but I just see a few of these folks leaving, and I just wanted to have 30 seconds to a minute of the floor, just to say something before they head out.
Wish to do that now?
Please.
Any objections? Go ahead.
I just didn't want to leave your comments in silence, because no one acknowledged it, no one said anything, and if someone was moved without an open conversation, then something was done incorrectly, and I feel comfortable saying that. But without hearing from all sides first, I don't want to cast judgment yet. That said, I just wanted to thank you for coming here. I wanted to say I hear you, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I will be employing all my colleagues, and I'm sure they will as well, do their due diligence to find a remedy and to do our best to find out what happened in this situation and act accordingly. So I just wanted to thank you all for being here, and I didn't want your comments to just go in silence. And I know Frank spoke up too, and I appreciate you saying that. You have a lot of courage. And I just appreciate you guys for being here.
Can I say
That's
something,
all.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
The reason we didn't say anything is because we're not allowed to, which is something that I have always taken offense at that. I think when you speak, it's human to respond to you, and you are very moving. Thank you for coming.
Mr. Hughes?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too just want to acknowledge your presence and thank you for coming forward. I'm not privy to any of the information, so I can't comment either way. I just want to say thank you for your courage to come out and speak tonight.
Ditto.
Ditto. Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
That's fine, no, that's fine. You want to continue, Bob?
Yep, I will continue. So the school calendar, there's a adjustment just on the date when it was originally presented. There was a misidentification of the early release day in December, and that has an impact on the last day of school. So the last day of school on the calendar moves from June 15th to June 14th, and Friday, December 23rd is listed as an early release day. So that's the change that is on the agenda tonight in the action items for your acceptance. Also, although not listed under my report, there are 2 action items for representation to the CAPS Collaborative for the next school year, and Pete Stevens is the school committee member proposed to serve on the Board of CAPS Collaborative for Fitchburg, and I am proposed and recommended to continue serving as a representative of the Keystone Board of Directors.
Good, thank you. Moving
on to the budget matters. Tonight is the second and final reading of the FY23 school department budget. I'll refer to Mr. Shalafo. The budget was sent to you electronically along with a cover letter from myself, along with the detailed line item budget by each school. There are changes in the line item budgets given the redistricting that will be occurring next year. So comparing last year to, or this current year to next year isn't necessarily an accurate comparison. So having said that, I'll refer to Mr. Shalafo for any questions that the committee members may have.
Thank you, Mr. Jokler. And I know that last time we met, we spent quite a bit of time going through the presentation, so I can skip to some of the pages to highlight. The numbers have remained the same. Our strategic goals have remained the same. Our investment in teaching staff and support staff remains the same moving forward in FY23. The total school budget of $73,950,000 again remains the same. So as I skip through this, I can certainly stop and provide you with more details. Obviously, the Student Opportunity Act has provided us with a great opportunity with an increase of $7 million in Chapter 70 for us to make investments. The 51 positions would equal $3.6 million investment for this next coming school year. Get to that right. And again, here's just a quick summary of where, and these are the same numbers that we've been discussing right along, shows the difference of $73 million for our budget this year. It's a difference of $7 million over last year. Net school spending is still as it has remained, and we are through $3,338 over net school spending currently with this budget. Again, we discussed some of the investments in some of the lane changes that we've made between FY22 and FY23, and you can see them highlighted here, which gave us a difference, about a $2.1 million investment in contractual obligations and negotiations for this over this last school year. And then the difference, which is the 3.59, which is that $3.6 million that we were discussing of adding positions for FY23. Here are the highlighted positions by school. We're looking at 10 new positions at the high school, 2.5 at Goodrich, 7 at Longshore, 5 at Memorial, 6 at Crocker, 7 at McKay, 5 at Rheingold, 2 additional positions at the South Street Early Learning Center, and then 7 additional district-wide positions for a total of $3.6 million. And you can see that we're highlighting our special education needs, ESL, along with Title I, particularly at the elementary and middle school grades, and then our additional positions to support social emotional learning across the district. And just a quick, I mean, again, these are the buckets that we're talking about each year. What we have provided through the city funding at $73.9 million. Circuit breaker, grants for this FY '23 at about $25 million. That's a combination of both ESSER 2, ESSER 3, along with our title grants and the Perkins grants that we receive federal monies each year. School choice, we can continue to offset school choice utilizing our grant money so that we can actually set that aside, and then using ESSER for capital improvements. And I have a slide coming up here shortly that just highlights the investments in the major projects that we're looking at using the ESSER funds. Again, this is just a slide, and we've seen this now, I think, for 2 years, what we can use ESSER for and what we cannot. Primarily, it was provided to us to address immediately the COVID needs, and also now, hopefully looking at COVID in the rear mirror, it allows us to invest back into our building facilities, along with building infrastructure for gaps, much like our summer school program that Mrs. Fisher has discussed. And last year, these are summer school programs that are twice the size of what we've typically run in the past. So a large investment with the ESSER and Title I funding that, to increase supports over the course of the summer. And again, this is just, looking at the ESSER, we know that ESSER 3 is $16.6 million. There is some indication, at least at a high level, it will take congressional action, that they are looking at extending the use of ESSER for another 14 months, which I think would be something that would help us. Again, much like right now, the reason that we're moving all of our summer school to Fitchburg High School is we've got other plans at other schools. This will continue over the course of the next several years. Again, with some of these major facilities projects, we literally only have 9 weeks during the course of the summer to get them done. So when we're looking at replacing unit ventilators at 3 different buildings, those buildings will have to be completely taken offline for the summer months. So not the predicament that we want to be in, is shifting all of our resources to one building, which puts a lot of stress on our custodial staff at Fitchburg High School. But this is something that we need to do, unfortunately, this year because of redistricting, but as we move forward over the course of the next 2 years, also to get some of these major projects done that cannot be done while children are in school. And again, this just highlights at a high level some of the projects that we have. Again, we've talked about the unit ventilators at Rheingold Memorial and the South Street complex, roof repairs, roof replacements, classrooms, looking at replacing our portable classrooms, continued investments in technology and the needs across the district to support our one-on-one initiative, and looking at building envelopes, steam controls at a few of our buildings, but also building controls overall at all of our buildings. And always looking at addressing our hair management plan, which is removing as much asbestos containing materials from the buildings that we can. Again, under state law, we cannot do that type of work while the building is occupied. So the only time that we can do that is during school vacations or during the summer months. And so again, this is just another, looking at capital projects, and we've added a few there, looking at the gym floors. Again, I talked about the modular classrooms, looking at the VoIP system for our communication, door access and doors and door access, so replacing doors across the district and looking at installation of door access controls, which would be actually managed under a surveillance system, and also whether it's a key fob or some other type of entry that they can be provided so the doors can be managed for teachers who are coming into the building and for coaches and things like that on the weekends. But as I said, we went through this at a pretty quick pace tonight, but there really aren't any changes from the last time that we discussed this, so more than willing and able to answer any questions you may have.
Reynolds? You're nodding to me, you recognize me? Yep. Okay, so since the last incident, I've heard people talk about putting in a bulletproof glass. Is this anything that's been discussed on the first floors? And you just triggered a thought that I hadn't, something that you said there about locks, so that it could be managed. I think one of the problems was that they couldn't, they had to get a key from like one person to open the door to the horrific scene. I wonder if the doors might be locked and unlocked more easily, specifically for a situation like this, to cooperate with people that are helping out. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, yeah.
That's just a thought I'm putting out there that occurred to me. But this other about putting bulletproof glass on the first floors of the buildings is something I'd like you to consider too.
Okay, we can absolutely look into that. There's actually glazing that they can put on that would provide some additional support for the glass. So we've been in communication with our partners at Fitchburg Police Department. We met just today with them and looking at new security for the new Crocker build, and we're expanding that conversation across all of our schools.
Ms. Reynolds, just to in the spirit of full disclosure, the superintendent and I have already discussed much more dialogue and much more participation from different groups to talk about how we can best harden our buildings. Much needed. But we need the collaboration and the cooperation of federal government and state government. So I'm going to be looking to bring in our federal delegation along with our local delegation to talk about funding. They really want to help us out. That's one of the focuses. And also mental health. How can we address those mental health needs? Because I think those two go hand in hand.
Does the city have access to a helicopter?
A helicopter?
Where's the police helicopter around here?
Well, there's the medical helicopter, right? Is that still at Leominster Hospital? No. It's at UMass, Worcester. Okay, yeah.
But I meant police helicopter.
Yeah, no, unless
keep
maybe
that in
the state
mind, too.
police or something, maybe? I'm sure they have one.
State police do.
They probably have several. Yeah, why?
I'm just thinking the situation, who knows?
Oh,
I just
okay.
happen to think that that could be helpful as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
No, I mean, as you said, we've had, being on the resource subcommittee, we discussed it, and we've discussed it here previously, and I think any questions I had were answered at previous meetings, so.
Excellent, thank you. We also have a line item in front of you this evening, and in your packets was the line item transfers that was approved by Resource Subcommittee at our last meeting. And that really is to address all of the negotiations as we move through all of our different contracts over the course of this year and any personnel moves that we had within the district. And finally, we have two donations up for votes or up for approval. One is from the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce. It was donated to Lisa Fernandez, Community Engagement and Coordinator. It is for distribution of milk to all of our schools over 19 weeks during the course of the summer, and with estimated value of $12,500. And we have a second donation, which was a donation of $3,000 from the Leominster Credit Union to Mr. Roach at Fitchburg High School to support senior scholarships and awards over the course of this year. And that's all we have for action items.
Thank you.
And I make a motion to bundle action items 22-171 through 22-180.
Second.
Motion made to bundle 22-171 up through and including 22-180.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to bundle. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the bundle?
All right. Motion made to approve the bundle. Second. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It is
Mayor?
unanimous. Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Ms. Reynolds.
We don't have a secretary work?
I think
She was on the screen.
Probably she was zoomed in, but I don't.
Ms.
Oh,
Greenlee
no.
says,
I'm here.
She's still there? Oh, okay, okay.
We can't see you.
I assume she was just like in another window or something and like hidden away.
No, I'm here.
Okay. We just voted for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Moving on, I'm just informed by the superintendent that there's a need for us to go back into executive session. Do I have a motion to do so?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session, only to return to adjourn.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to go into executive session to return only for adjournment. Ms. Greenlees?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes.
Natali.
Yes.
That is your vote, yes. Mr. Stevens?
yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Horgan?
Yes.
Mrs. Reynolds?
Yes.
Dr. Knight?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
We are unanimous.
All right. We are in executive session.